$1,132 a month. That's what the VA pays for flat feet when both of them are pronounced. And flat feet is one of the most common claims a veteran ever files, which is exactly why so many people leave money on the table. Here's the move the VA never volunteers. Put both feet together, then add the knee or flat feet quietly wrecked, and 1 foot condition can pay more than triple a single rating. I'll show you that exact number before we're done, so stay with me.
Maya here, and stakes first. Every mile you rucked, every road march, your feet paid for it. The paperwork just never caught up.
Hi all, I'm May, and think about how ordinary this is. Boots that never quite fit. 20 years of load on a joint the size of your palm. Flat feet isn't exotic. It's the most predictable injury in the whole military, which is the same reason raters see it, sigh, and reach for the smallest number on the page.
Michael here. Think of the rating schedule like a parts catalog. Every foot problem has a part number, and the whole game is matching your foot to the right one instead of the cheapest one.
And that catalog is real. It's 38 degrees Celsius FR 4.71A, the VA's rating schedule for the musculoskeletal system. Codes 5276 through 5284, all of it foot. Nothing today is opinion, it's the schedule.
One question lands under every video on this though, and it steers the whole thing. People ask, my flat feet were noted at entry, so am I just out of luck? Short answer, no, not automatically. If the military made an existing problem worse, that's aggravation, and it's still rateable. Noted at entry is not the same as denied. Hold that thought, because it changes who should file.
Everything we cover, the full conditions list, and a free rating tools page live at va.professorerica.com, so keep that open while we go. Next, why the most common foot claim on the schedule is also the one veterans quietly lose the most money on. So let's put the real question on the table. Why is the single most common foot claim also one of the most underpaid? Maya, May, walk into that with me.
Take the numbers. Flat feet shows up on a huge share of separation exams. It's everywhere, and everywhere gets treated as routine.
Right, and routine is the trap. There's a bias baked in. When a rater sees a condition 10 times a day, the brain files it as minor by reflex, even when this particular veteran's feet are genuinely wrecked. It's the same shape as a nurse who stops hearing the ward alarms. Familiar starts reading as fine.
And the cold fact is, there are 2 doors in, and most people only knock on one.
Say more, Maya. What are the 2 doors?
Door 1. In-service onset. The boots, the marches, the load, it started or got worse on active duty, so it's directly service-connected.
Door 2 is the one people miss, and it's bigger. Secondary. Your flat feet change how you walk. That altered gait grinds the knee throws the hip tilts the back. One collapsed arch can seed 3 more claims up the chain. Call it the ruck tax, and it keeps collecting for decades.
Hold on, you're saying the feet are the cheap part?
Often, yes. The foot rating might be 30%. The chain it started can be worth more than the foot ever was. That's the part nobody circles for you.
So here's where I'll land the room. Flat feet is underrated because it looks ordinary and because most claims stop at door 1. Treat it as the start of a chain, not a single line item, and the whole picture changes. Next, let's put faces on the rest of the list.
Run the whole list, not just flat feet. The codebook covers every part of the foot, and one of these always trips people up.
Think of the arch like a bridge. Flat feet is the bridge sagging. This next one is the bridge overbuilt. Pes cavus, clawfoot, an arch so high the forefoot drops.
And it climbs, so it's worth more. Code 5278, 10, 20, 30, 50%.
Clawfoot, which everyone wants to call clubfoot. That's the one I always mix.
Clawfoot, not clubfoot. Clubfoot is the newborn thing.
I hate it. It's correct, and I hate it. Clawfoot for us, 5278.
The bunion is next, and it's a hard one. Hallux valgus, that bony bump where the big toe angles in. It caps at 10%, code 5280. Even when it hurts far more than 10% feels like it should.
10% max, operated or severe. That's the ceiling.
Its stiff cousin is hallux rigidus, a big toe that won't bend, code 5281. The schedule just says rated as a bunion. Same 10.
Now the big one for volume, plantar fasciitis. For years it borrowed another code. Then, in 2021, the VA finally gave it its own, 5269.
So does plantar fasciitis actually pay more than the 10% bunions are capped at?
It can 10% to start, 20 for one foot that treatment won't fix, 30 for both, and up to 40 with real loss of use. The pattern to catch, this one rewards the word bilateral, both feet.
One more so the list is complete. Metatarsalgia, the ball of foot pain some of you know as Morton's. Code 5279, a flat 10%, whether it's one foot or both. I keep a battered used bookstore anatomy atlas on my desk. And honestly, half of learning this is just matching the plain word to the right code.
So that's the map of the foot. Now the part you actually came for. What the difference between two of these tiers is worth in real dollars. Let me make this concrete with one veteran. Call him Dale, a retired Army sergeant, flat feet in both boots since Fort Benning. Watch what one tier does to his check. Rated correctly, both feet pronounced. That's 50%. In 2026, a 50% rating pays a veteran $1,132.90 a month.
Now watch it slip. A busy rater writes severe 1 foot, 30%, $552.
Okay, so let me do the gap out loud because I want to feel it. 1132 minus 552. Hang on, that's $580.43. Every single month gone for the exact same feet.
580 every month over one wrong word on a form.
You have to run it out to see the real size of it. $580 a month is just under $7,000 a year. That's the ruck tax again, except this version is a filing error, not an injury. It compounds every year, nobody catches it.
It's not a trick though. Think of it like two invoices for the same repair. One says whole car, one says one tire. Dale isn't paid more for being clever. He's paid for the feet he actually has once the tier finally matches.
That's the whole scene. Same feet, right tier.
Think of the tier like a ladder, and here's the rule that decides which rung you land on. Flat feet doesn't rate on the word flat. It rates on how far the foot has actually broken down. Let me put it on the board. 4 rungs, and you climb by symptoms, not by feelings. Watch me walk it up.
Bottom rung, mild. This is a real collapsed arch, and if a built-up shoe or an arch support takes the symptoms away, the schedule calls it 0% because the appliance solved it.
Next rung, moderate. Pain on use, 10%, 1 foot or both.
Now the rung that changes the money, severe. The exam has to see objective signs, marked deformity, swelling after you're on your feet, hard callosities where the arch collapsed. Both feet at severe is 30%.
And the top rung, pronounced. Marked pronation, extreme tenderness, and here's the phrase that matters, not improved by orthopedic shoes or appliances. Both feet, that's 50%, the number we opened on.
And the reason to stand here a second is that the whole climb is evidence, not adjectives. Your job, and your doctor's, is to get those objective words, swelling, callosities, no relief from inserts, written down. The rater can only climb the ladder the record actually describes.
So push for the words. That's the rung you get paid on.
Now the real money, the part I promised up top. The biggest checks in foot claims usually aren't the feet at all.
The foot is the foundation, so when the arch collapses, your gait changes, and that altered walk is the mechanism that does all the damage. It loads the knee wrong for years. The knee compensates and stresses the hip. The hip changes how the spine sits, and the low back pays last. This is secondary cervix connection, 38 degrees Celsius FR 3.310. One cervix-connected foot can make the knee, the hip, and the back cervix-connected too, as long as a clinician ties them together. That single arch isn't one claim. It's the first domino in 4.
The link is gentler than people expect, though. Think of it like a scale that only has to tip past even. The standard is at least as likely as not. 50-50 is enough. You don't prove it beyond doubt, you tip it to even with one clean sentence from a doctor.
Run Dale forward, flat feet at 30. The knee his gait wrecked at 20. The low back at 20. Combined, that's around 60%. $1,435 a month, not $552.
Wait, say that again, Maya. The feet were the 30, and the chain they caused nearly tripled the check?
Nearly tripled it. The feet were the cheap part. The chain was the paycheck.
Okay, that changes how I tell a veteran to file. May, your domino point is the whole game. Don't stop at the foot.
And one more lever most people never pull. When both feet are cervix connected, the bilateral factor, 38 degrees Celsius FR 4.26, adds 10% of their combined value before anything else combines. Two paired feet quietly earn a little extra just for being a pair.
There's a judgment call buried in here, though. I'm finishing a crib for my first kid right now, and I'm at sample 7 on the stain, so I get the urge to keep tweaking one piece forever. Claims are the same trap. Do you file the foot now and add the knee later, or batch the whole chain at once? Batch it. One exam, one timeline, one effective date working for all of it. Maya, you filed these. Back me up.
Batch the chain. That's the move.
Every one of these ratings runs through one appointment and one form. So we called in someone who works foot claims cold to close this out.
This is exactly the person you want on the line for the practical part. Let's get them on.
Happy to jump in, and you already named the engine. It's the exam. For feet, I want 2 things in the record before anything else. A weight-bearing X-ray taken standing so it shows the arch under load, and a clear, painful motion or deformity finding the examiner writes down. A foot that only hurts when you say so, with nothing charted, is a much harder road. Then it goes on one form, VA Form 21-526EZ, the application for disability compensation. You name the foot condition, and if it's secondary, you name the service-connected condition that caused it right there on the same form.
And back pay. How far back does it reach?
Your effective date is generally the day the VA receives the claim. The regulation 38 CFR 3.400 says the date of the claim or the date entitlement arose, whichever is later. So file the day you're ready, not the day you feel perfect. The clock starts when the claim lands.
So here's the number I promised at the very top. Whitfield, is the honest play really to chase the whole chain, or is that us overselling it?
It's the honest play with a guardrail. If your feet are genuinely bad or they've seeded a knee or a back, chase all of it, because that's where a 30% foot turns into a 60% combined check, roughly $1,400 a month instead of $550. That's the stacking move, and it's real. But I won't sugarcoat the other side. If your flat feet are mild, fixed by an insert with no knee or back behind them, that's a 0% picture. Filing it alone mostly burns your time.
So build where the damage actually is.
Exactly. Don't file a foot and arch support already solved and expect a check. That's my honest read. Thanks for having me on.
That's the honest guardrail. Both things are true. Big money in the chain, nothing in a foot and insert fixed. Appreciate you jumping on the line. Here's the whole map in a line. Flat feet rates on how far it's broken down. The ladder runs 0 to 50, and the real money is the chain it starts up the leg. Next time we stay on the conditions list, and here's the hook. There's a foot injury that can pay even when the X-ray comes back clean. Wait until you see how that one works.
My keeper is the tier. Same feet, wrong rung, $580 a month. Stakes first, always.
Mine's the domino line. One arch can seed a knee, a hip, and a back. Bridge the two ideas and the foot stops being a small claim.
Mine's the click path. Log in, one form 21526EZ, and batch the whole chain so one effective date works for all of it.
So here's your move tonight. Pull your own records and hunt for 3 words, weight-bearing X-ray. If a doctor already charted your arch under load, half your claim is built. Hit subscribe because this series climbs the whole VA system one benefit at a time, and a like tells the algorithm to show it to the next veteran who needs it. And before you go, one for the comments. Did your flat feet ever wreck a knee, a hip, or your back? And did you claim that chain or just the feet? Big thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end. Professor Erica here. See you very soon.